Hello, good evening. Welcome to another session of live. I will be doing more live from today onwards on the TikTok platform. So if you guys are interested, just feel free to follow me. And then once you go live, right, the TikTok will notify you when I go live. All right. So that's how it's gonna be doing. Maybe I'll be posting less posting in the normal post lah, right? So this is how I will be going. So usually those people who are not very familiar on how the way I do my life is that I will kick off by sharing some real estate updates in terms of the recent news, right? And what's happening in the real estate market. And at the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Then keep it interactive. All right. So in the news, right, that what happened these few days, I've been catching up a lot of the news updates and whatnot, right? Obviously, the biggest one that today that came out, right, is talking about the BTO that's having in the Bayshore area. Confirm this area is going to be under the plus, that's for sure. Something that we cannot deny. I always share with people, right? If let's say today you are a young couple, you go for the plus or you go for the prime, it's still okay because you still have the time horizon. But let's say you are already in your late 30s or early 40s, right? If let's say you're going for the plus flat, right? Think about it. The construction time already take 3 to 4 years, right, to build up the place. Then following which you are tied down by 10 years of staying over there for the MOP, and that's going to be eating up into your age, right? So imagine yourself, you are a 40-year-old guy, right? For example, 40-year-old, you plus 3 to 4 years of construction, you are already 43, 44. Plus another 10 years, you're already 53, 54. By then, if let's say you still have some dreams of upgrading yourself into a condo, right? First thing first, your loan is going to be severely restricted because your loan amount is going to be very limited, very skewed towards a lower amount, right? Because why I know, because recently I have met up with this young senior. They're called young seniors now, young seniors who are in their early 50s. So they're exploring to buy another property under their own combined name. And then when I was doing their loan calculation to see what kind of maximum loan that they be able to get, right, I realized that they are, even they buy with combined income, right, their options in the market are not 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 very not a lot lah, put it this way. Their options in the market are quite limited. So in terms of if let's say they strictly want to go for new projects, that is the fact of the market lah. So our age, our income will affect the loan eligibility. The only way some of the people they do is that they try to add their children's name, for example, right, by adding one of your son or daughter's name inside the property, buying jointly, right? Obviously, the income weighted average age will be pulled down. In that manner, you will be able to loan up a higher amount and you will be able to go for a longer tenure. But of course, that will also mean that your son or your daughter will be affected because next time when they want to buy their own public property, right, HDB, right, then they are considered a private owner themselves because of the joint ownership that you pull their name in, right? So BTO over here, right, that I think is going to be priced high lah. Government has put it this way, whereby Bayshore, this project, definitely the south facing one will be facing the sea, the north facing one will be definitely facing the HDB side. So it will be very nice view lah, for sure. That one we cannot deny, right? So this one, by then they're saying that BTO, I'm not sure when it's going to launching. Second half in 2024. Right, 7,000 HDB will be built over there. Then 3,000 condos will be built over there as well. Currently, is sitting on the site opposite this condo called Costa del Sol, right, Bayshore MRT. This area is gonna be the next big transformation that's happening over there. New towns, East Coast for the longest time. If people who are over there, very expensive property, right? District 15, District 16, all the properties over there, especially those fronting the sea view and all that. Definitely the properties there is not going to be cheap, right? So with this BTO coming up, definitely it's going to be a plus under the plus scheme, whereby you have the 10-year MOP. So better think wisely, think twice before you apply for these plus flats. Do bear in mind is that once you go and ballot, you really got yourself into this one of the plus flats, right? Bear in mind that you're gonna suffer for a lack of better word lah, huh? Yeah, bear in mind that you really need to endure the 10 years of MOP, right? That is why I do not suggest it for people who are in their late 30s or early 40s, unless you are very, very sure that, okay, I just want to enjoy the amenities over there. I'm happy to stay there until my retirement years, right? I do not want to participate in the real estate buying and selling anymore. Okay, then that's fine. You can go ahead and buy such property. But end of the day, if let's say you still want to so-called roll your profits from your previous property, right, into private homes, then that's something that you really want to seriously reconsider, right? And of course, another news that came out also today, Orange Tea came out this newspaper article saying that the HDB upgraded deals for amid pricier condos. That is something that I have already told many people who are staying in the HDB. Even before COVID, I told them that the situation is like this. The pricing gap between the private homes and the HDB is going to get further away as the years goes along. The simple math is that the government is motivated to keep HDB prices affordable. Affordable means low lah, put it this way, right? But private market, they cannot control too much, so they allow more free play. Allow more free play meaning to say foreigners, PR, all that, they are able to buy private properties, and that is where they will push up the demand in terms of the prices of private homes. So it's only a matter of time that these two will start to go in a separate path, right? In a sense whereby the gap will become further wider and wider. So these newspaper are already showing that HDB upgraders deals are getting lesser and lesser nowadays. Hello, hey, hi, welcome. Probably nothing. Which is better, bank or HDB? You're talking about loan, bank loan, or it really depends on your objective. If let's say today you have already taken up both the 2 times HDB loan, right, then you can't take HDB bank loan. But as of now, HDB is 2.6% interest. So obviously now you're taking HDB is lower lah. But now HDB, the bank right now, the interest rate, the fixed rate, I think is about 3.1, 3.2. I think it's going to be only temporary. Just bear in mind that once you take HDB loan, right, you change it to bank loan, you can't change it back to HDB loan. And but the thing is that when you take bank, correct. When you take HDB loan, you can change it to bank loan. But once you take bank loan, you can't change it to HDB loan. So that's something that you need to bear in mind. I would really think that the interest rate right now is only temporary, meaning to say the US market, right, is only monitoring their inflation right now. Once it's stabilized, they cannot have this interest rate to stay so high up for so long. The reason because many businesses in US is also suffering. The cost of funding is what it means by interest rate. Interest rate is also the cost of funds. If the cost of funds is high, then business activity is going to be affected. People are, because cost of fund is high, right? The businesses may not want to take up their expansion plans because they need the funds to do up their business plans, right? But if let's say the expenses is high, they will just probably delay their plans to do expansion. So that is the matter of fact how the whole economy, business activity, property, and all that is intertwined together, right? If one thing will affect the other, that's for sure, right? There are other articles that's happening on the news talking about the Orchard Boulevard GRS site, which I think is going to be very interesting to see, because we are going to see how the developer is going to react in terms of this particular plot. Because I would think that for this plot of land, right, it's just right next to the Orchard Boulevard MRT, right? And right now, because of the ABSD at 60%, the foreigners is gonna be very, very tough to buy into their property at 60% ABSD. So developers are also aware of this, so they need to price it properly in a sense. So if they want to price it properly, they also have to bid very carefully. So I'm very curious to know how the bidding result is going to be like for this plot of land, which is right next to the Boulevard MRT. But isn't blah blah okay? But isn't interest rate average like 3%? It depends. If let's say today I'm going to buy a new project, new project is on floating rate. Floating rate is about 4%. Fixed rate I think is about 3.05, 3.1. So it depending on what package or which property type you are buying. HDB resale 2.6%. So it depends. For the last 10 years, averagely, okay, because of the Lehman Brothers crisis, right? You're saying that the average of the interest rate, if you look at it in the longer horizon, I take past 25 years. Past 25 years, yes, probably we can say it's about 2.5 plus minus. But if we take 2008 and onwards, right, that means 2009 until 2019, for example, 2008, 2009 to 2019, for example, that's the period of time where people are so used to cheap interest rate, cheap cost of fund, meaning the interest rate is so low. So at the point of time, I'm advising a lot of people saying that, hey, if you can borrow as much as you can, as long as you can, please go ahead, because the cost of fund is so low, right? So that is the time that people should take advantage the low interest rate, right? Either to buy a bigger property, take on a bigger debt. But again, within your reasonable means, do not over exceed yourself, right? That is something that I always want to make sure that people don't fall into, right? Your hair fall. No lah, not Esplanade lah. This one not Esplanade. Esplanade is spiky one. 3% is quite high. Yes, it depends on how you look at it, right? 3% interest rate, right? Right now you see the this morning I was talking to some of these industrial properties investors, right? They're saying that interest rate is so high, not worth to buy into investment property right now. It's no wrong also, because even if they rent out, right, every month they need to top up the monthly installment. For example, the rental is 5,500 on the average. Then after accounting for the monthly installment, all that, right, maybe they barely cover, or they still need to top up a few hundred, which is not the case in the past for industrial property. Industrial property, usually you will expect positive cash flow one. So it's very different nature as compared to residential, right? Loan to debt 60%. You're talking about the TDSR, is it? TDSR is 55% now. It's not 60%. Right? To be honest, I think MAS make it so hard to overborrow after what happens the last 3 years. Yes, correct. So we need to be happy that the government is controlling the market, because in the past we are considered a speculative market. If you look at before 2009, the volatility is very high. That means people buy sell, they don't have the SSD and all that. But since 2011 onwards, you can see that there is a series of cooling measure coming up, which in turn fine-tune the market. The most strict one is obviously the 2013 lah. 2013 TDSR was introduced, MSR was introduced, so that caused a lot of people, their loan borrowing suffer a lot. So 2013 to 2017 is what I call like a transition phase, whereby you see the property really start to prices start to dip and then stabilize until 2017 onwards, it start to rise back up again. So people are adjusting into the new set of rules, new set of operating model, right? People tell me before it was average like this. It depends on where you are looking at. So you are referring to the interest rate, right? Blah blah. So it depends on which timeline you are tracking from. So obviously, if you track 2009 to 2019, the interest rate is super low lah. But of course, if you track before 1997, 1998, 1999, in the 90s, right, interest rate can be as high as 8%, 9% in Singapore, which is unheard of for now. So that's why some of the older generations, they tell me that, hey, don't borrow interest rate, don't borrow so much loan from the bank and all that. So there's no wrong from where they came from also, because they have seen the interest rate super high before at 7%, 8%, but now I doubt it will go back up to such a high percentage. Now we are talking about 3%, 4%. Already people cannot tahan already, cannot endure already. So I doubt that this interest rate will go back so high up as in comparison with the 90s. So it really depends on where you are taking the time reference from. What grant is available? First timer grant. You're talking about BTO, HDB, right? You can get first timer grant, right? It depends on your what scheme you are taking under lah. The fiancé, married couple, that kind of thing. Nothing enhanced, staying near parents' income. Just the first timer grant, yeah. I think MS make it hard. Yeah, correct. So loan to value. Oh, okay. I want to BTO but sound expensive. If you talking about BTO, then I agree that now the prices are getting higher and higher, but let's face it lah, every year the BTO also increase price, every year the private condo also increase price. So there's always this golden saying lah, the best time to buy property is 10 years ago lah. The second best time is now lor. If you don't buy 10 years ago, 10 years later, you will start looking at where you are now and say, 10 years ago I should buy, right? The best time to buy real estate is always yesterday lah. Right? Then if you don't do something now, then in the future, you're probably going to beat yourself up lah. You're going to say something like, wow, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I buy? That kind of thing. It's not trying to sell stock, but I've been in this market since November 2010. I've seen the mini up and down happening. I've met many clients, a lot of clients that really sour one. They say that, property so high, cannot buy already. This type of people is usually the case whereby they beat the boat too much already, so they angry at themselves. So they always say not so nice things about the real estate market lah. But after understanding them, there's no chance but you can just only encourage them lor, to say that, hey, if you are still going to participate in a stable market, slow and steady growth like Singapore, then obviously come into the Singapore real estate market. We are no longer a speculative market in that sense, right? We are very stable. Government is introducing a lot of measures to put in place. At the same time, they're controlling the supply, they're controlling the demand. So the growth of the Singapore property is slow and steady, right? It's not going to be, suddenly you put 200,000 in terms of your own money, 200,000, 5 years later it becomes 1 million. I think it's not possible lah for this kind of climate anymore, right? So the speculative era is already over. I cannot BTO cost power foreigner can only buy 1 bedroom condo. Okay, if let's say your spouse is a foreigner, right, you can only go for the 2 bedroom flexi for BTO, right? If not, just go for the resale HDB under the foreign spouse scheme. So you still can go for BTO, but BTO there's restriction. You can only go for the non-matured 2-room flexi, right? Then if not, you can go for HDB resale. You still can buy HDB. It's just that very restricted, right? If you want to go and buy 1 bedroom private, there are still options in the market below 700,000, but just do your homework carefully to make sure that you buy into something that is easy to sell in the future. You don't buy into something that you get yourself stuck, right? The process not that fast, minimum 1-2 years. Yeah, I know a few friends BTO, then guy condo cost low interest rate, then last year need to top up. Oh, so sad for your friend that has the house auction away. Only last few months decided to move into Singapore. Okay, welcome to Singapore. Singapore always welcome foreign talents, right? 10 years ago still infant. No, TikTok really a lot of young people. I see my analytics and all that. A lot of people are in their early 30s are watching my TikTok. So some fun facts of what kind of profile of the viewers that I have lah. I think you're not infant lah. At least you're in your teens lah. Not. I think you are in your early 20s now, I guess. To be honest, TBO is not expensive. What you want is expensive. Buy within your means, then slowly upgrade. Yes, correct. This is exactly what I mean lah. Buy within your means, but don't be afraid to buy when it's ready. That means whenever your finances is ready, right, and then it's time for you to move forward, right? You don't stop there and don't move forward, because nobody can know how the market is going to shift the next few years. Nobody can time the market. Anyone who tell you that, oh, next year the market is going to boom, or next year the market is going to crash, I think all these are people just giving prediction based on the today's factors, because nobody is a fortune teller. Nobody can really guess what happens in the market, right? Personally, how I see it, I give my some prediction. Now now we are going through a stabilizing phase. We are going through a consolidating phase. People who play stocks, they will understand, right? We are going through a phase whereby the buyers are finding it too high price to go into, so they are probably holding back a little bit, wait and see. Interest rate is high, economic uncertainty and all that, but the genuine demand is still there. The organic demand is still there. People got to buy because of family formation, because their kids grow up, needs bigger space and all these things. So we cannot turn back time. We cannot ask the children to remain the same size, right? Don't grow, right? Or we cannot stop people from getting married. So family formation is there. There will be new citizens coming in. There will be population growth. So the organic demand is always there, but if let's say the supply cannot keep up, right, the prices will have to go up, right? Same like stock market, time in out, do timing the market, but end up they won't mind. Yes, correct, exactly what I'm saying lah just now, talking about people who are very sour in the market. Can I BTO 5 years then up for resale? Yes, you can BTO. The MOP is 5 years. 5 years later, you can put it up in the resale market. Foreigner spouse scheme only can do if let's say, oh, your spouse is what's they call, don't have the long-term valid pass. That's going to be tricky, no? Maybe you got to work towards that first lah, right? Can you give me a rough sum amount to afford the finish BTO? When you talk about you are talking about resale flat, right? Yeah, 200,000, 200,000, 250,000 for 2 room flat. When will pay finish? Take your time to slowly pay. Okay, this has a lot of sense in it, right? For example, when you are you already bought your property, right? Don't be afraid to just sit on it, right? What I meant by sit on it, meaning to say, if you are servicing the loan, you have a lot of money, right? Don't be so eager to clear off everything. Why I say that is because if let's say you can find better opportunities in the investment market out there, right, then you can put your excess money in the investment market. Don't need to go and clear your existing loan so fast. I mean, this is my personal opinion. If you let's say you want to clear away your existing housing loan, it is fine as well. It is fine as well, because the way I see it, right, we have to understand this concept that we are operating in an inflationary environment. What I meant by that, right, is that today's $1 is not going to worth the same $1 30 years ago. So let's say 30 years later, right, I'm still servicing the same loan that I'm servicing now, right? The money becomes smaller already. So I would rather that I drag the loan as long as possible, and then if let's say I want to take as much loan as I can. This is how I operate lah. This is how I think lah. But if let's say you don't believe what I am believing in, then is fine, right? How to buy an entire HDB by 40-year-old? I don't know what is your profile, IDK. The 40-year-old, if you have money, just buy private. If you want to buy an entire HDB flat by yourself, then single you still can buy. Why not? They take the money to leverage, to invest, to get more assets. Exactly. So rich people, they always know how to do the multiplying effect. So if you do not know how to use multiplying effect, then we gotta be very challenged. Because if let's say I always talk in that sense, this concept. If our mindset is operating on the linear kind of model, then our growth is very slow. But if let's say our mindset is going the multiplying effect into exponential kind of curve, right? Then yes, we will be able to see more things with our perspective, because real estate is something that if let's say you do not use real estate leverage, right, then it's gonna be very, very challenging to build fast wealth, right? Yeah, of course, exponential can go both ways. So that's why managing debt is very important. This is something that I always share with people, that I have a very comprehensive Excel calculator to help people to assess how much they have right now, what is their age, what is their income, and all these things. Then they will be able to go for what kind of property price, what kind of asset they are able to buy for. Then from there on, it's easier for me to show them around what are the options. Right, no point going around seeing properties, but you do not know that you do not know what you can afford, what you can buy, right? Interest rates too high, they say no go for big purchases. It is exactly what you are saying, that a lot of people is holding back, and it is also why I have been encouraging real buyers, real home buyers. Let's say that, hey, today, if you're a home buyer, better look into the market right now, because a lot of the investors are holding back. A lot of people like yourself commented interest rate too high, not going for big purchases, which is very good for genuine home buyers. Genuine home buyers, once they buy, they stay there for easily 10 years, maybe for their kids' primary school and all that. The competition is lower for these people, right? If you need the home to stay, precisely, if you need the home to stay, you just buy, right? Don't care how much is the interest rate. The interest rate is only temporary. Well, a lot of people ask about my hair gel. I what's so cool? What's so interesting to know what's my hair gel? If I loan right now at high interest, can I refinance? Of course. Z, I think you may not have buy your own property yet. Refinance is a very common thing, right? If you loan high interest now, for example, you take a fixed package of 2 years, right? So 2 years, maybe you fix it at 3.8%. You say, wow, 3.8% is very high. But 2 years later, if let's say your current loan is with OCBC or DBS, you can always refinance when the market start to shift downwards, right? If let's say the interest rate has already lowered down to 1%, right? Then you can refinance it. Why not? So how often the interest rate change? Every day, the interest rate, if I'm not wrong, changes every day. It's based on the interboard exchange bank rate or something. They call it SIBOR. Now only got SORA lah. SORA is they based on the past performance of the rates and all that. So interest rate changes pretty fast, as faster than what we actually think. I have a question: if I should buy Affinity or Bartley Ridge, one bedroom, can advise? Okay, one Affinity, if let's say you're strictly only going for one bedder. Bartley Ridge, if I'm not wrong, is older compared to Affinity. So we compare it side by side lah. Age, Affinity, surely it wins. Accessibility, connectivity, I think Bartley will be better because it is just right next to Bartley MRT. For Affinity, right now you still need to rely the bus stop along Yio Chu Kang Road. So you there's a lot of bus services over there. So actually not that bad. But if let's say you only want MRT, then Bartley Ridge is your surer bet lah, so to speak. But if let's say you are into the upside of Serangoon North, which in the future by 2031 or 2032, there is a cross island line coming up in the Serangoon North, and one bedroom right now, currently a lot of owners are taking key, so there could be an opportunity for you to get a good deal in Affinity. So it really depends on the price that you will be able to get for the one bedroom. But for myself, if let's say my time horizon, I'm able to wait until 2032, 2033, I would probably get Affinity. This is my personal opinion. But of course, it depends on the price that you're buying into. But if let's say you're buying a super expensive one bedder, next time going to be difficult to exceed, then I can't help you lah, right? I need to do more reading on this. Yeah, feel free to ask me any questions if you like to. Follow if you want to see when I go live and all that. I try to go live every day as much as I can, 10 p.m. to 11:30. Then if you have any questions, just come online to ask and chit chat with me, right? Do you see many PR and foreigners out buying PR these days? Okay, Z, your question, I can very tell that you are very young and you are not in the real estate market yet. PR and foreigners very low as compared to Singaporeans. Singaporeans, that's really is still forming the bulk of the buyers in today's real estate market, because the thing is, even the luxury market, right, foreigners are not really buying anymore because of the recent ABSD that's introduced at 60%. 60% is a lot. Rich people are not stupid. Rich people are smart. That's why, unless those that inherit from their rich parents, but generally speaking, rich people are smart lah. They also don't want to pay so much tax to our government, right? 60%, you buy a 1 million property, you need to give 600,000 to Singapore government. Entrance fee. I think not that worthwhile to pay, right? So a lot of the foreigners are actually either waiting out to become PR. First property, they only need to pay 5%. So that is a 55% discount already by becoming a PR. So that's why I would say that now ICA probably very busy now lah, because a lot of people applying to become PR, right? So once they get a PR, at least they buy their first residential property in Singapore, it's only at 5%, right? Singaporeans still form the bulk of it. Foreigners, I think the demand more or less has died off. It's not that really strong. There is still probably less than 10 every month, but the foreigners that are buying, they could be they are holding a USA nationality, because US citizens, right, they are having the same tax preference as a Singapore citizen. So that means they don't have the ABSD, right? And other countries, there's a few countries like off my mind I can't remember, but there are some countries that have this FTA with Singapore, the free trade agreement, so their citizens are treated the same as Singapore citizen, right? What is a good location to buy? I should ask this question back to you. really depends on your objective. Your objective, is it for investment? Is it for own stay? My definition of good location versus your definition of good location can be very different. Yeah, blah blah. What location you like exactly? What location you like? Then you can, you depends on your needs lah. Depends on your needs. Depends on where you work. Depends on where your social support is. Social support, I mean like your parents, your friends and relatives. Where are they staying roughly at? Where do you grow up at which neighborhood? That interesting to note lah. Most people, they will buy roughly the same place where they grew up or not too far off. Like for example, if you grow up in the extreme east, like for example Pasir Ris, you won't go too far off one. You will probably go maximum lah, maybe north area like Yishun, Woodlands, Sembawang. You won't go to Jurong one. That's the observation that I have lah. Typically people who grew up in that neighborhood, right, they won't go too far off from there one. They would probably be 15 minutes drive away from where they were growing up at. So it depends on your place of familiarity, right? Then you think price-wise, are they overpriced? For which one? I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. I only work 3 years, still saving for property. I can only give you words of encouragement. Please work hard. Try to make sure your active income is strong, and then make sure that you save up. There is always this article floating around. This young lady, I think she's like 23 years old. She managed to buy her first private property. You can go and check it out. I think she was being featured in some of the media and broadcast and all that. So fun fact, if let's say today, right, you can only afford to for example, fun fact, you can only afford to save up $500 per month, right? You save up for 60 months, which is 5 years, right? You can only afford $500 per month, which is quite easy to achieve, right? At the end of 5 years, you have 30,000 in terms of cash, right? With that, you will be able to form the down payment for your property already. So I don't think it is impossible to own your property in Singapore. It's only a matter of your own personal discipline. So it is very achievable if let's say you are going for something that is affordable in Singapore. Of course, it's impossible to say that without rich parents lah, so to speak, without rich parents, without you striking the lottery, suddenly asking you to buy a 2.5 mil property in Singapore. I think that would be a big challenge, that's for sure. But it takes discipline to save up the initial down payment to go for your first one, which at least Singapore, there is still some hope in the sense whereby government still allow you to buy BTO. In some other major cities around the world, like if you look at places like Hong Kong, places like Japan, Tokyo, places like Taiwan, right? If you talk to if you talk to the young people over there, right, you will see that they are quite a bit give up hope lah, a bit disillusioned, because they really cannot afford to buy their own property. They can only so-called rent, and a lot of them, they are a generation of rent tenants lah. They are a generation of tenants because property price is really out of reach for them already. So even if let's say they get married, they combine their income to buy property and all that, then it's going to be challenging, right? Singapore, we are still not that crazy yet lah, because we have very strong housing system, which is through the means of BTO, right? At least young couples still be able to buy their first property with ease, right? If you go for BTO, pray for good queue number first, then decide. Yes, BTO, just keep trying. Go for the non-matured state. Now is still called non-matured lah. Next time they are called plus prime standard already, right? So go for something that is not as competitive. Go for, if you can, if you, let's say you're a BTO, right, if you can, please go for the 4-room, right? Don't go for the 3-room. The 3-room, the upside, I mean the so-called profit jump is not that high lah, right? So at least go for a 4-room if you can, right? I only work 3 years, still saving for property. Okay, words of encouragement. Please find ways and means to create more income for yourself, and please find ways and means to cut down your lifestyle expenses. maybe you drink bubble tea every day. Maybe you can drink only once a month. Maybe if you watch movie, nowadays people don't watch movie, right? The youngsters, I realize they don't watch movie. Maybe you go holiday twice a year, right? Then instead of going twice a year, you go once every 2 years, right? In the beginning stage, is definitely going to be tough lah. So discipline is very important to save up, and then build up your funding for your first down payment first, right? Wait for Affinity and Bartley Ridge. Affinity versus Bartley Ridge, are they overpriced? Again, it really depends on the final buying price that you are buying into, right? If let's say talking about 1 bedroom plus study, I think Affinity, some of them they are selling like 850,000 there about. Bartley Ridge, I think, is also around the same range. So you need to check in terms of per square foot which one makes more sense, right? Just make good financial decision, slow and steady, save up. You can afford private. Yes, correct. I work 4 years, can afford 1 bedroom, so don't worry, can one. Adulting is tough. Yes, hashtag adulting. A lot of young people over here today. Actually, it's true. I live in Seoul for 1 year. Can see they spend like crazy cash, cause they know they can afford house. You're talking about the young people, What are your opinions about the BTO Plus? Example, the Bayshore. Yeah, like I mentioned, it depends on how old you are. If you're in your early 20s, right, you still have the runway. Runway, I mean by you age until 65 lah. Our golden years, right, as an adult, our optimal income generating age is from 30 to 55. So don't miss this period whereby you can make the best use of your own age and income to your advantage, right? The banks only love you when you're young. When you're old, the banks don't love you already, right? The banks will say that, so sorry mister, so sorry madam, because of your age we cannot loan you so much amount already. You can't afford to take up the loan anymore. So that's what's happening for older folks lah, right? So while you're young, the problem is that our income maybe is not that high and our savings is maybe not that much. So just build on it first lah, right? So if let's say you're going for this plus flat, bear in mind that the construction period is going to take at least 3 to 4 years, right? By then, for example, you're 25-year-old, then by then you are already 28, 29. Plus another 10 years, you'll be around 38, 39. So from there, definitely there is some upside, but please bear in mind, right, for the plus flat, there's going to be introduced subsidies. That means the government is going to claw back the profits that you make from these plus flats. By how much? I'm not too sure the details yet. I think it's still not yet out. So it really depends on how much you can fetch in the resale market, right? For example, you got to think if people will pay say 1.3 mil for your 4-room resale flat in the BTO Plus or not, I think it's unlikely not. So by introducing this standard plus and prime scheme, right, in a way government is already foreseeing that this flats is going to be super high demand and people is going to compete for it. So they are trying to curb the demand by introducing all these new schemes, new policies, right, to curb people from profit making from this BTO. So the only way I see now is only the standard flat, which are still not bad in location. The standard flat, at least the MOP is only 5 years. And EC. EC, of course, you've got to make sure that both you and your spouse, the income do not exceed 16,000. So once you exceed, then you can't qualify for EC anymore. As EC, same thing as well. Your MOP is only 5 years. Plus your construction 3 and 4 years, so it's still okay, right? At least you still can see a good upside in terms of the EC, right? I save 3K per month. Wow, good. I hope you can reach your goal very soon. Right, oh liao lo. Yes, correct, Rod. Precisely. You get this kind of plus flat. The issue is time lah. We always complain for some of the guys, they sign on the army or sign on the Air Force Navy, they always complain, wow, my bond is still very long. So to me, it's like you buy a plus flat or buy a prime flat, it's like signing bond with the government. You sign a bond with 10 years. 10 years is very long, I feel it's not worth it lah. Right, Affinity 1 bedroom plus study 900K, yeah. Just look around lah. See what is there. I think I saw before that 800 plus K got people transact. So just look around. right? Resale condo can buy because new launch too small. Of course, it really depends on the price. Right, it depends on the entry price, it depends on the factors, right? Resale condo, why cannot buy? Can buy. There are also people making good profits from resale. I quite old already, 2829. 2829, okay lah, still not that old, but again, depends on your partner lor, right? If you strike 4D, if you get yourself a good partner, then the income is very high, savings is very high, you can go private already lor, right? But again, if you're doing this on your own, that means you are buying a private property on your own, then no choice lah. You just have to make sure that you save up more, earn more money, right? I 31, you say, oh, rude. Wow, I feel like I'm the oldest over here at the TikTok platform. I see TikTok a lot of young people, right? I F up study engineering and no social life and girlfriend, so can't BTO yet. No worries, technology is very strong nowadays. I think you can go swipe here, swipe there. Time to swipe, bro. Yes, correct. In the past, those people who are very shy those guys that don't know how to so-called take girls to dating and whatnot, wow, they really tough life because technology can't even help them, right? But now it's easy for guys who at least the Tinder, all that, they offer you the opportunity, right? At least you put a nice profile picture, that kind of thing, right? At least you still got chance still got fighting chance. If not, last time, I don't know whether you all are the same era, but last time before Tinder and all that, you see how people actually got to know each other. Probably have to go to pubs, maybe have to go to places whereby young people hang out lah. That's the only way to know more people and know more life partners, right? No choice, right? MOP means I cannot buy another house. Yes, correct. Z, you will probably need to read up more about property since you are very interested in getting your new house soon. Within the first 5 years, MOP minimum occupation period, you cannot touch any residential property. You still can buy industrial commercial, but you can't buy residential. So during the first 5 years of minimum occupation period, you cannot buy residential property. So you are stuck there for during that minimum occupation period. You cannot sell as well. Yes, blah blah. You are right. Cannot sell as well. What do you think of the M layout and layout? The M is a very interesting property because back then, right, the per square feet in terms of the prices, it's launched at a very low in comparison of the nearby like Martin Modern, Midtown Modern, Midtown Bay. So right now, I think if let's say you look at some of the units, right, some of these first batch of owners has already put it up for sale. So you can go and check it out. I think you will be able to find some good deals here and there for those sellers that are more serious to go and sell their property in the M. Because the M is done by Wing Tai. Wing Tai is still a very strong developer. So can go and check them out and see whether you have any interesting deals that you can potentially go and find. The layout, I didn't study in detail. Maybe I will do that and then I'll get back to you. Chemistry god. Wow, you must be a can I say it's a tuition teacher? I don't know. The M definitely is interesting to look at, right? Which area of resale will you recommend? Again, it depends on your objective, where do you want to stay, which area you want to invest and all that. So it really depends on what kind of objective we are looking at. Resale area, if I just look at the whole Singapore generally as a whole, right, personally I would think that the city fringe area is somewhere that is sweet to look at, because the city fringe area somewhere like I would say just name a few towns like Toa Payoh, Boon Keng, Kallang, where else? Ang Mo Kio, Queenstown. These are the city fringe township lah. I would probably look at private condos around this area because there is a lot of demand that is still coming into this area, so it's easy to find tenants. At the same time, there is still families coming into this area because of the schools nearby. So this kind of township, you are somewhat enjoying the best of both worlds, because when you have strong popular schools coming into play, right, then families kind of demographic bias will be there, But at the same time, if let's say the township is very near to CBD, you will still have spillover demand from the tenants who are priced out in the CBD. They are exploring somewhere slightly outskirt but still manageable going into town. So if you check out places like, for example, Commonwealth Tower, Redhill, Tiong Bahru, some of these condo, right, they are not that affordable, you know. So you can see that the prices, the demand, the strong growth there is already established in this kind of area, right? Do you think it's better to buy a bigger project like Affinity or smaller like Garden Residence? A garden is not actually small. It's a mid-size. I would say. To me, if let's say you're talking about boutique project, like for example, units that are less than 100, then the facilities is not very fantastic. That one probably I may want to avoid. But you look at garden residences, it's considered a mid-size project. So it's still okay to buy into it. And you can see the way that the developer has done up the design and layout and all that is still okay one. It's still alright. But I find there's a 3-bedroom like 700 over square feet, that one I cannot because if you think of it this way, family of 3, family of 4, you see the layout, the 2 of the common rooms I remember can only put in a single size bed. To me, that is not so ideal lah. A lot of families, they cannot accept this kind of layout. So if you, because of budget issue, you buy, then in the future it's quite hard to exit for this kind of 7, I remember it's 797 square feet, a garden residences 3-bedroom. So it's gonna be tricky to sell it off in the future. But of course, if let's say really budget constraint and you really like that project, then no choice, just go for it lah. Gervais Treasure and Mata Residences undervalued. Okay, Gervais Treasure, right, is in the area that is just behind Principal Garden. If you look at that cluster, there's have a lot of projects over there. Mount Gervais, Gervais Lodge, Gervais View, Petit Gervais, Gervais Treasure, Gervais Mansion, One Gervais. The area is it's very quiet. It's very to me lah, it's not so walkable to the nearby MRT station or bus stop. So it's, in terms of the connectivity, is not that great lah. Okay, I just say it as it is in that whole of area. So people who are staying there, they enjoy the privacy, they enjoy the private enclave kind of feeling, but getting in and out probably take Grab every day. I don't know, right? The tenants over there, it's going to be very affluent because of the how easy it is to go to places like Great World City, Orchard, just maybe like 2 bus stops or 3 bus stops away from Great World City, right? So it really depends on what kind of purpose you are buying this project for. Mata Residences, freehold development, RCR, walking distance to Mata, 2002, 2003 per square feet, thereabout, right? You can look at it this way. The sales launch was happening like a few days ago, but the take-up rate is not very high. So that already kind of tell you what's going on lah. So I cannot further comment too much, right? 10 years MOP is crazy. Correct. Please think carefully, right? Because 10 years of your life is worth something lah. I always like to believe that lah. 10 years of your life taken away by the government just because you want that project, then I think it's a bit you need to think carefully lah. Going for the plus flat and the prime flat, something that I always advise people against lah, especially those people who wants to have flexibility to buy sell, people who are still going for the profit jump, then you may want to think carefully. 5 year already, people complaining in the past. 5 year MOP is considered long, right? Is it the buyer's market soon with Bayshore 10k supply hitting the market in 2 years times? Not exactly in few years time, my brutal sky. It's gonna be spaced out. Like, not, government is not going to launch the whole 10k all together at the same time. So I think it will be spaced out lah. So it's like maybe the second half of next year they will release the first 1 or 2 projects. So the first 1 or 2 maybe like 500 units thereabout. So it will space out lah. I don't think the government will flood everything all in one go lah. So that will cause a market the imbalance. So it's going to be spaced out, right? Even then, I think the private condo over there, there's going to be 3,000 units. 3,000 units, if let's say every plot is carve out equally, 500 unit each for each plot. They will have six plots of land for private condo. That's how I see it lah. Because I don't think government will carve out into three big plots of 1,000 unit each. So I may be wrong, but this is how I see it. I think it will be six plots of government land sales, private condo. Each plot maybe average about 500 units, maybe 6 to 7 plots lah. Some big, some small. Maybe maybe some of the projects is 350, some of the bigger projects is 550, right? So that's how it will be seeing how Bayshore is going to be like. Now interest rate high, so don't people borrow trying to sell, so buyers market don't get you exactly. Interest rate high, yes, those people who overstretch themselves last time, they will feel the pinch, right? So last time, if let's say they just assume that my installment is going to be low, maybe I take on the debt of I'm okay to pay 3,500 per month. So suddenly interest rate high, right? If you look at it that way, if you spread out 25 years, 30 years, the interest rate jump, right, is not double. Like for example, in the past is 1-2%. When it go to 4%, right, your installment don't double. Your installment don't increase by 2 times. It doesn't work that way. So if you break down the monthly installment and all that, probably increase 1,002 to 1,008 thereabout. So for some people, they just tighten their purse, tighten their wallet, right? Instead of drinking bubble tea every day, they change to drinking bubble tea once a month. Instead of drinking Starbucks every day, they change to drink Starbucks once a month. So instead of traveling every other month, they change to travel twice a year only, right? So people will find ways and means to cut down their spending, right? The housing budget still need to pay one, right? I saw some people, garden residences developer, yeah, correct. Some people will find that commented that the garden residences developer is a better profile in comparison for Affinity. Affinity is by what's the name? Oxley, right? So Oxley is a late starter in the developers scene, right? So in the past, Oxley, they were doing industrial projects and all that, but they became very aggressive the past few years. They do up a lot of projects. Riverfront is also done by Oxley. Kent Ridge Hill also done by Oxley. So Oxley is also getting more prominent in the scene, right? So developer profile and all that also takes time to build up. So yeah, if you compare about the history of the developer, definitely garden residences is better, right? How much does a 100 square meter condo cost these days on the average? If you're talking about a 3-bedroom condo, 3-bedroom proper unit size, maybe about 950 square feet to 1,001 square feet, you just times it to maybe, I would say, on the average about 1,008 per square feet thereabout. You're talking about 1.8 mil thereabout already, right? Of course, if the newer that you go, the high price is going to be, because we have to accept that every year the land cost gets higher and higher. Every year the construction cost gets higher and higher. So moving forward, we will be seeing that the prices of the condo will be gradually increasing. So when I started out in the real estate, right, maybe 3-bedroom, you can buy a 1.1 mil, 1.2 mil easily. You can buy a 3-bedroom condo already. But now we are talking about easily 1.5 mil upwards. Now approaching more towards 2 million mark already. So the market has shifted quite a lot over the past 10 years, 13 years. So in the industry long enough, I have also fallen into the so-called trap of people saying that, wow, the market is so high price, crazy, who will buy? So I remember this case whereby the very first EC that came out, right, Piedmont Grand in Pongo. It is the first EC that is going to cross 1,000 per square feet mark. When that EC came out, right, I was telling people that, wow, crazy. And back then, Pongo is not that established yet, right? So I was telling people, hey, it's crazy, man. You pay EC 1,000 per square feet. Might as well you go and buy private condo. So that was what I was telling people last time. But you see now, Altura, the most latest EC in Bukit Batok West is already selling on the average 1450 per square feet, right? So Piedmont Grand has just recently collected their keys. So some of my clients, they eventually bought there as well. They are buying in like 1,000 per square feet thereabout. So 1,000, 1,001 per square feet. Now, if they sit on it, they started their 5 year. So 5 years later, you look at the Piedmont Grand owners, right? They will be easily looking at a 300,000, 400,000 profit jump already, because look at the land cost they are selling right now in comparison with all the new launch market and all that. You can see that the prices has gone higher up these days, right? Yeah, correct. How to stay 2.2, 2.3 mil for the metal. Yes, correct. Any estimate for Bayshore condo per square feet? If let's say Bayshore is going to be launching condo, I just use example lah, right? The seaside residences, how much were they selling back then and how much are they selling now, right? You can just check out how much the seaside residences is going to be selling, because why I'm using seaside, right, is because it's one of the latest project 99-year lease that I can take reference from. Right, back then when seaside residential was launched, right, people were complaining what for overpay for a 99-year lease project and that kind of thing. But the fact of the matter is that you see those people who bought earlier on, right, for seaside residences, right, they are sitting really at a very good profit now, because I'm pulling out the data now. Back then, average 1,700 per square feet for seaside residences. Right now, some of the people, in fact, sold at 2,004 per square feet for seaside residences. I'm pulling out the profit, how much they make. Total profitable transactions 101. Total unprofitable transactions 2. Okay, if I pull out the biggest person who make the most, wow, 1.1 million 69,000. Okay, this guy, I cannot reveal the full address for privacy issue, right? This guy bought in April 2017, sold recently 25th September 2023, right? He bought per square feet 1721, sold 2,418 per square feet. Profit total he make 1.169 million. I think this is a 4-bedder or 5-bedder 1679 square feet in total, right? On the average, if let's say you're talking about the 3-bedder, some of them they even make 400,000, right? Now they're selling at about 2004, 2003 thereabout. So if the Bayshore is coming out for sale, I would think that it should not be too far off from this price point that we are looking at, right? 2004, 2005 thereabout. So if you're looking at a 3-bedder, maybe I give it 1,000 square feet, so we'll be looking at about 2.4 mil, 2.5 mil for the Bayshore condo that is going to be selling in the future. That's a rough estimate lah. Anyway, COE also high. COE is also another topic lah. I got another friend is in the car trade. Hopefully government can do something about what's happening in the COE. Is, I think, low supply issue plus jacking up of the prices by the higher. Right, thanks John. No problem. I try my best to go on live every day 10 p.m. to 11:30 if I can, right, as much as possible. This is how I'm going to do it for the future, right? 2.4, not crazy lah. You will see it when it launched lah, because the location is very strong for East Coast. This kind of price, it's fair, it's reasonable, right? Just to share with you, Pasir Panjang freehold property, some people are selling at 2007, 2008 per square feet. So not Bedok lah, Bayshore, right? Bayshore, 99-year lease, front water view facing, 2004, 2005. Okay, right? Fair, right? What's up? Impossible. What is impossible? Sorry, I'm reading the comments in the chronological order lah. I try not to miss out any comments that I didn't reply to. If I missed out any of your comments, just feel free to type in again if let's say I didn't reply to your question and whatnot. I sold my car last year because price too good. I drove free for last 3 years. Wonderful, good for you, man. Right? Some people can even profit from making buses. East Coast area, right? What are you talking about? East Coast. 3 mil for condo is quite crazy. Might as well save a bit for landed. Okay, you compare the location, the same location we are talking about lah. East Coast area landed how much already? Landed easily 5 mil, 6 mil. So there's definitely going to be a tier one. 3 mil. In fact, nowadays the entry level landed property, right, is no longer like what we think 2.5 mil, 3 mil. 3 mil, you really get an inter terrace. Probably you still need to spend money to do A&A. You probably need to top up another 300,000, 400,000 to do up renovation and all that. So your actual buy price is probably going to be very near to 5 million already for landed property. If you compare it to the same vicinity lah. So that is the situation. If let's say everybody say the same thing as you, right, then obviously the landed property is going to go up, right? But again, landed property owners are also not stupid, right? So landed owners, why they are able to stay landed is, of course, they have some smarts in them, right? That's why they are able to stay in landed property. So yeah, that's the reality of what's gonna happening in our real estate scene. 99-year lease, TOP in 2023. How long do I hold before I sell? You want to stay there for as long as you can, then try not to stay until it age. You stay until it age, meaning to say when people find it too old, don't want to buy your condo anymore, it's around the 15 to 20th mark. Usually 15-year-old to 20-year-old, right? For your building age, right? That's where that you will find that the tenant pool suddenly become, not suddenly, gradually become lesser. If the tenant pool become lesser, your value also become lesser. So you can use this as a gauge. Which project are you in, Josh? Don't mind, you can let me know. If let's say it's TOP for 2023, you are intending to rent it out, you are intending to stay yourself, what are your plans, what is the objective, right? Will property prices ever go down, and did the government screw up the prices? Don't say screw up lah. Government don't screw up one. Our government is the best in the world. Right. Okay, joke aside. Of course, policymakers also make mistake here and there everywhere lah. So, but the thing is that if you really compare the housing policies that the government do up, right, the only not so good thing that I may want to sound off is that I feel for the singles lah. The singles are really very quite discriminated lah. You put it this way, because no choice. Our government trying to prioritize family formation, trying to prioritize people with families with kids to go and buy their property and all that. But I think that for singles to really buy BTO, last time single cannot even buy BTO. Single can only buy resale flat, or they have to wait until 35, then they can go and buy BTO. So I think this group of people is quite sad lah. In fact, the most latest National Day rally, right, I was hoping that they would do more for the singles, but the policies or the changes they roll out, right, I felt they are not done enough lah, put it this way. So property prices, I don't think in the long run it will go down. In the down, when I say down, it's like 20%, 30%. Residential market has already reached the matured state whereby those people who are holding on to all these property, right? Imagine yourself, you are one of the multiple property owners who buy and sell a lot of properties in the past, right? Then now the government has released so many policies, cooling measures, taxes, ABSD. For example, today myself, I am a 55-year-old guy, investor, right? I own 5 property. Then I will think this way. If I sell away my property, right, I want to buy back, right, I need to pay a lot of taxes in terms of ABSD to the government. Then what for I sell? That's exactly how some of these multiple property owners are talking. So they might as well hold on to it and just collect rental all the way. So if let's say all these people, right, especially the multiple property owners, right, they are holding on to properties and they are not selling, right, then in a way it's also affecting the market by the supply, because if these owners are not selling, that means there is one unit lesser in the market for sale, right? which also means that there's not going to be a lot of transactions activities going around, right? Then the thing is that for those say second two properties owners lah, they also say, think the same thing. If I sell already, I want to buy back the second one, I also need to pay ABSD. So that's why nowadays a lot of people, especially younger married couples they will try to position their properties in such that the husband buy one, then the wife buy one, then for example the wife buy a 3 bedroom condo, the husband buy a 1 bedroom condo, then they stay in the 3 bedroom condo first, right? Then over time, as their income increase, as their savings increase, they sell away the 1 bedroom, then they go and buy a 3 bedroom using the wife's name. Then maybe the 3 bedroom is newer, right? They go and shift over there and stay, right? They enjoy the newer condo. Then over time, same thing again, their income become stronger, their savings become more, then they sell away the 3 bedroom that was held under the husband name, then they go and buy a 5 bedroom. So they slowly roll that's what I meant by what people are doing nowadays, until a point maybe they find that they are ready to combine their forces again to buy a landed property, 7 million, 8 million. Then that's why they will sell two of their 3 bedroom condo and then buy a landed property, or maybe a 5 bedroom condo, right? So that's how people are so-called rolling up their profit recycling their profit from their property, and then they buy a bigger property as they progress along in terms of their age, in terms of their career, right? We take in too many people, that's why prices like this. Half true, half true. Why I say half true? Maybe I share with you a little bit. The demand side is controlled by the government. The supply side is also controlled by the government. So prices is monitored and controlled by the government. I put it this way. So if our prices rise up too long, too fast, I would say that people is gonna be government if let's say the private property is going too high up too crazily, then government is going to step in and introduce cooling measure and all these things. Likewise at the bottom market, right? If let's say the prices has been stagnant, to stimulate activities and all that, the government will also release or relax some of the existing measure. So this is how I see the government is doing. They're controlling the supply, they're controlling the demand, right? So in the past, we know at one point of time, I don't know whether you are old enough to remember, one point of time, I do remember that suddenly the MRT become very crowded, right? So I felt that at that point of time, the infrastructure was not ready, and yet so many people are coming into Singapore, right? So I think now the government has already calibrated in the sense whereby they are trying to they are trying to build up the infrastructure first, then the population come in, right? So this is how I feel the government is doing in the future, right? So prices, supply side, government land sales, how much are they released, how many plot of lands is being released, all that is by the government decision. Same thing, the ICA want to approve how many people become PR, how many people become a citizen. This one is also the control of government, right? So prices is controlled monitored and controlled put it this way, right? I feel it's important for single guys to own house to get attached. I agree also, no choice, you rent a place first bachelor pad, right? So Z, you are a guy, right? I don't know whether you are a guy or a girl, right? So you maybe rent a 1 bedroom condo first, then you have your own space, right? Then you can create your own nest, right? Before you get attached, right? That's the hard fact In fact, people who are living in cities, especially the western side, the parents always have this mindset that once you are of independent age, you are required to live on your own already. They can't wait to kick you out of the house. But in Asian culture, Asian context, don't have such thing. Asian context, living with mom is still okay. Living with parents is still okay. This kind of mindset, right? I think it's too late already. Salary not rising in tandem with housing prices. Not exactly true. Z, don't be so pessimistic. If you think of it this way, you see our median household income, you see our median salary income, right, is actually rising quite steadily. Why I say so is because today if you look at a young couple, both of them in their early 30s, right, I've met a lot of clients. I met enough clients to tell you that a lot of them, right, combined income, it's more than five-figure one. In fact, close to 20,000 one. Then you see if let's say they have combined income 20,000, their affordability, their savings and all that is okay one, right? So I don't know what industry are you in, I don't know what job you are holding, but generally this is the trend that I'm seeing for people who are they got into the right industry, they got into the right job, husband and wife, combined income very close to 20,000, right? It's very common nowadays, right? This is how I see it lah, right? But of course, you as a single, then if let's say you want to reach the income, then you got to work hard lah, or start a business lah, right, to reach 20k a month. Right, Ashton Matrix. Oh, I don't know what exactly you're talking about. We are talking about real estate over here. So yeah, any more comments? Swipe. Okay, I reached to the last point already. Right. So yes, any more comments about your property? Please feel free to comment. I hope to earn 12k per month next year. Okay, no problem. I wish you all the best. Important thing is that don't what's that called? Don't lifestyle inflation also lah, right? When your money income increase, then don't chase after branded, don't buy car, don't suddenly increase your spending lah, right? So I always share this with people. If let's say you are able to discipline yourself to spend like a student, you really spend like a student, that's where that you can really see a lot of huge savings, right? If let's say you are able to make 12k per month, right, then you force yourself, right? I go back to my student mindset, student mentality. I force myself to spend only 1k max per month. Is it possible? I don't know. You try it out, then you have 11k of savings per month already. 11k, your savings is going to be very huge. No, you can save up very fast for your down payment for your condo and all that. Chemistry got trends in prices in CCR and RCR in the next few years. CCR, I think because of the existing policies in place, right, foreigners, we have to accept lah. Foreigners is still forming the bulk in terms of the investors and the home buyers buying into CCR, right? But the thing is that CCR will always remain CCR. That means we cannot deny the fact that the government still cannot let CCR depress for so long, right? RCR is city fringe. We will still get some local demands to support and come in. But if you notice the price trend, right, the gap between the CCR and the OCR, right, has come so close that I think in some sectors of the CCR is actually considered undervalued. So depending on which project you're comparing to, because in the CCR region, there is always the good CCR and the not so good CCR. Same thing as well as the RCR, there is the good RCR as well as the not so good RCR. So you have to compare project by project. So in that sense, right, usually I would do a more in-depth analysis for my clients to make sure that we buy into the right project, the right unit at the right price, right? So that's the standard way of I'm doing things for my clients, right? To add on, buy RCR, OCR has a better strategy in buyers. Again, the region itself, we can always look at it in the bigger trend. Obviously, the big companies, the reports and all that, they will always say, oh, this year CCR perform in this manner, oh, next year CCR, RCR perform in this manner. But I would like to really zoom down to that individual project. Like for example, today I go and buy I think of a very lousy OCR. Because okay, we have to understand in general speaking, why suddenly the OCR has becoming more profit in terms of percentage wise, right? It's because of the decentralization efforts that the government has introduced 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, the government has this great grand plan to diversify the workforce out of the CBD area. So CBD has become too concentrated, right? All the offices, all the business activity is all in the south or in the central area, right? So they have this concept of creating regional township like Woodlands, Tampines, Jurong. So they are creating a lot of work opportunities, offices around in this kind of outskirt township. So that's why you can see that Tampines prices, the condo also increase. Jurong, the condo prices also increase. Woodlands, there's not many condos to be compared to, but now you can see Woodlands, their government is also putting efforts to spruce up the place. So there are little townships here and there whereby the government is creating like what's they call a regional center, right? So the thing is that when this decentralization efforts happen, right, you will see that more and more people will want, it's okay to buy outskirt region condo because the per square feet entry is very low. So the profit jump in terms of percentage, it looks like the OCR seems like a very nice, attractive place to buy into. But if you look at some of the luxury segment, right, people can make 2 million, 3 million in terms of buying and selling the condos within the CCR region. It is still going to be the big boys playground lah. So it's not saying that while OCR has outperformed CCR in terms of percentage, right, we cannot just ignore or just say that CCR is cannot buy anymore. In fact, I think it has a very strong potential for repricing. That means to say, when people start to realize that, hey, Orchard area selling cheaper than Jurong, doesn't make sense, right? Then might as well I go and buy a Orchard freehold cheaper than Jurong, right? So it doesn't make sense for this trend line to continue, whereby if you look at CCR, some certain projects which I myself am also identifying, right? Some of these resale freehold District 9, 10, 11 projects are actually selling cheaper in terms of per square feet as compared to areas like Tampines, Jurong. Then you start to think whether it makes sense or not to buy OCR. So that's just my thought lah, right? So that's the thing about RCR, OCR. It really depends on the project. Like one project I am strongly looking at is the Piccadilly Grand. This project is in the RCR region. Back then, right, when it was being launched, the demand, all that is not as strong as I expect it to be. But as a project that is next to MRT station, so close to the town and all that, it should be able to see very strong potential upside in the future. Right, Piccadilly Grand, if you look at it, the project is considered good size, just right to MRT. In fact, one of the exit point is connected to the condo, if I'm not wrong, right? And then the per square foot price is also very attractive. So I believe this project will perform very strong in the RCR region. Right, RCR, we also have another project like, for example, Park Esta. If you look at Park Esta, how much the first batch of owners bought versus now, you can see that the first batch of owners who bought into RCR, bought into Park Esta, right, really sitting on a very huge potential profit over there already, right? OCR, there's also some good and bad projects, but as a whole, again, it doesn't matter that which region has better exit, but it really depends on that specific project. I hope you know what I'm saying exactly, because we have to zoom in down to the project itself, and also within the project there is different unit type. So some of the unit type in terms of the 3-bedder, 4-bedder, some will also perform better than the other. So it's not just a blanket statement to say that, oh, go and buy RCR because RCR is better. It's not going to work that way, because we also need to deep dive and further analyze that particular project, that particular unit, particular price. Then it makes sense altogether as a whole. So sometimes for so-called some investors coming in with a budget of say 2.5 million, then they ask me to source, right? This kind of investor, I am more scared in the sense, because there's really a lot of homework to be done. Because for them, right, it's very free play. They can go anywhere in Singapore. They say, okay, John, I have a 2.5 mil budget, right? you help me find the best investment opportunity in Singapore. Wow, then to me, I think that wow, I need to spend time to do homework again because they do not really have a perimeter. It's just chasing the best potential profit, right? That's something that I would try to really. I don't want to shortchange them, so I really want to sit down and comb through every possible project, every possible data that I can find before I give them. Okay, based on my findings, maybe top three you can consider is project A, project B, project C, and this is why I recommend this project. So within this project, okay, you can look at this bedroom type, this layout. Why I recommend this is why. Then I will give my opinion and analysis. So I don't anyhow say that, oh, just buy this one because this is good. Then there's no support, there's no data to substantiate what I'm trying to recommend them. So that's something that I work on. So this is how I will advise my clients to do in terms of their investment. So a lot of people, like recently now I have come by some of them, like they are still considered their own stay product. Their own stay product meaning to say the next private property that they want to buy, right, is still mainly for themselves to stay in. So when we are dealing with own stay product, right, then a lot of other factors will come into place. Like for example, I'm currently staying in HDB in Toa Payoh, right? For example, okay, I want to buy a condo. Okay, where do you want to stay? Okay, I still want to stay back in Toa Payoh because my kid is studying in Pei. Then no choice, we have to use that school as a base because you have to understand that the family need to travel every day to the primary school, right? Impossible that I recommend them a condo in Pasir Ris, right? Then how the family going to fetch the kids every day? So obviously within the Toa Payoh, then I have to find, okay, which are the condo projects that is worthwhile investing into. Then maybe gem residences because it's the newest kid in the block. Then still got some potential profit upside here and there. Right? Do you see potential growth in price in Choa Chu Kang area? This area very close to my heart. At the same time, this area quite sad lah. Not much growth. You can see that there's no aside from the Tengah New Town. The Tengah New Town, I think, is a competitor. It's not the person that is not something that help leh. I mean to me lah, right? Tengah New Town is the development of the whole west area and whatnot. So I don't know that will help or harm Choa Chu Kang Township. So Choa Chu Kang Township, if you look at it, you see there's what Choa Chu Kang Safra, Choa Chu Kang New Park, Jurong Regional Line. Nothing much already, right? To me lah, the way I see it, nothing much happening here already. So the only thing that we can look forward to is the Jurong Regional Line, which is going to connect the residents from Choa Chu Kang to Tengah, then to Jurong East to West Coast. They building new development beside Choa Chu Kang and UT MRT, right? What new development? I have no idea. Choa Chu Kang, the side nothing much there. I think it's still the shopping mall lot 1. There's only the Jurong regional line that's coming up. The Choa Chu Kang Safra is already operating. UTMRT, that plot of land, I think it's like a Kampong Admiralty, something like a senior friendly HDB lah, right? Beside lot 1 and UT Point, they're building something. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about lor. The beside lot 1, that one is Jurong Regional Line. That one is the one of the MRT station for Choa Chu Kang. Then UT Point beside that one is another HDB town, something like Kampong Admiralty. That one is like a senior friendly HDB over there. So nothing much going on. I mean, if you ask me, nothing much going on over there. Nothing exciting. So I don't think this kind of development is going to push up the prices a lot or going to help these two area substantially lah, right? This don't quote me. Anyway, this is just my personal opinion. Quite there are some township that is like that lah, quite stagnant for very long, nothing happening. Will Bukit Batok benefit from Tengah growth? Likewise, I think same as the fate of Choa Chu Kang, right? It can be a competitor because there's a lot of supply coming out in Tengah, like I always share like if you see Punggol Sengkang, if you compare these two townships side by side lah, Punggol Sengkang, if you ask me I think the upside is still more towards at Punggol, right? So side by side township, where is a better bet for growth, which is within the Punggol center itself lah, where you can see the university is going to be there, digital district is going to be there. Then Punggol itself is already very big Punggol East, Punggol West, right? Coney Island. Then they have the Cross Island line coming through and all that, right? So if you compare it that way, right, Sengkang is already very established. Sengkang nothing much happening over there already, except Sengkang West lah. But Sengkang West is more towards the what's the area called I can't remember. Sengkang West is Fernvale, yeah. Fernvale area is like towards the atas side already. Further down is the landed property and the condo and all that already. So if you compare Punggol and Sengkang, right, if I were to really place my bet, right, I would probably put my eggs into Punggol lah, because there is more money that the government is pouring into over there. So money in the sense of infrastructure improvement. So whenever there is money being thrown into the area, right, it's like you throw a stone into the pond, right? Then there's ripple effect coming out, right? So you want to be as close to where the stone is being thrown, or do you want to be as far to where the stone is being thrown? So obviously you want to go as near as possible, right? So just think of it this way. Any development that's happening in that area, right, is like a stone being thrown into the area. So you want to enjoy the stronger ripple effect, right, by being very close to it. So this is the analogy that I can give you lah. Like this is how I see it, right? Any good new project launches you would recommend in the next 6 months? Jayden is one of them. Jayden is definitely going to be very hot, but it's going to be developed depending on your balloting luck lah. So if let's say you want to go and look at the next 6 months coming up, Jayden is definitely one of them. Yeah. If you are also okay to wait next year, this year end or next year, I think Marina View Residences is also something interesting to keep a lookout on, because Marina View Residences is developed by IOI. It's Malaysia, one of the top developer in Malaysia, right? They have also done up the IOI Tower, which is their nearby office tower in CBD. So that one, they will try to create some synergy effect over there. So they are definitely a strong player in the CBD area. So other projects, if let's say you are a fan of Lentor, Hillock Green is something that is interesting to look at, because that is probably the last plot that is near to MRT station. The further other plot is going to be away from the MRT station already. So Hillock Green, something interesting is that it still have a connected shelterway all the way to the Lentor MRT. So it is like your last chance if you want to go and buy into Lentor area lah. The further outcoming plots, further out one is not going to be that close to the Lentor MRT already. So aside from that, any other big interesting development, maybe I'll wait for the future one already. Like for example, Clementi, there's one plot coming up for sale. The developer is going to close the bid soon. Hopefully, I think UOL is going to get it again. The plot of land is between Claremont and Claremont Canopy. So UOL has already built these two projects. So likely they will put up a bid over there as well. Then Toa Payoh, the plot of land is beside GEM Residences. That one will be highly sought after as well, because aside from GEM is already, I think, coming 10 years already. So that area will have pent-up demand. So people who are going to buy into Toa Payoh, they are also looking forward for something new that's happening over there. Aside from that, nothing much interesting. I'm also waiting for the Pine Grove Parcel B plot. Hopefully the bidding don't give us a huge surprise, right? If let's say the suddenly the bid becomes so low, then Pine Tree Hill gonna be having some problem really. Layout so big though. Oh, you're talking about Jayden, is it? Jayden, yeah, I think the developer has tried to be, I saw the 2 bed plus study 818 square feet. So because of the big layout, people who like it will like it, but it will also affect the overall quantum. So let's see how it goes. But it's gonna be the last few of a residential plot of land, condo that is within 500-meter radius of Jurong East MRT. I went down to the sales gallery to check out. There's really going to be a lot of big transformation happening in Jurong East MRT station thereabout lah. So that is the Jurong Lake District. That is the heart of the Jurong CBD area. Next time there's going to be the Jurong Integrated Transport Hub. They're going to shift the existing Jurong Library to the Jurong Integrated Hub. They are going to shift the Science Centre to Chinese Garden MRT. They're going to redevelop the Jurong Lake whole area and all that. So exciting times ahead of us. Hopefully it will turn out as what they plan out to be lah. Further downwards, there's a lot more plots of land coming out, white sites. The master developer over there is Capital Land, right? So I think highly likely that the white site, there's a plot, 3 plots of white sites over there lah. Highly likely Capital Land may be the one that is actually taking charge to develop the whole of the Jurong second CBD. Not the whole lah, sorry, most right, within the 500-meter radius of Jurong East, right? Pine Grove, that one so poorly located. The only saving grace over there is the 1 km to the Henry Park lah. I think there's also another strong school over there. Henry Park is a super popular condo, so parents to be definitely going to buy there because of the Henry Park address, within 1 kilometer of Henry Park, and within 1 kilometer of what's that project hey, what's that, the primary school suddenly I forget. 1 km of okay, where is I'm checking the place right now. Methodist Girls, Methodist Girls. So it is 1 km of Henry Park Primary and 1 km of MGS, right. So that's the saving grace for Pine Tree Hill lah. But people who stay there, they like it very much because it's a super huge landed private enclave lah. So people who stay there all their life, they're okay with it one. Just take the bus along the Ulu Pandan Road, right? Great job, you have gone live 90 minutes. Okay, so it's 11:30 p.m. Okay, so announcement to make. From today onwards, I will try to go live 10 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. as much as I can, right? Some days I in a bad mood or what, I don't feel like it, then I don't go live lah. So as much as possible, I try to do live 10 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. every day. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask during this point of time. At the same time, do remember to follow so that if you will receive the notification whenever I go live, right? So I check if there's still other comments. If there's any other final burning questions that you may want to ask, please feel free to ask now. If not, I shall end the live pretty soon, right? I see some people still joining in at this time, right? Okay, so I hope whatever I share makes sense and help you. So if you do need any of my help, just feel free to PM me. More than happy to help you to reach your property goal, right? If not, I'll hang around for a few more minutes, then I will be ending the live soon. Okay, thank you very much and good night everyone. Cheers. Hey Vivian, you're here. What, the whole night you only say thanks, good night, just listening in only Today never ask any question. You also work late Welcome, Chemistry God. Welcome. I'm curious to know what you think is a good PSF for Lentor area. Those people who bought Lentor Modern really benefited lah. I really also make the mistake I was telling people that maybe the Lentor Hill will be priced cheaper. I was wrong lah. So a bit a bit of a miscalculation on my part, because the Lentor Modern, right, was bought at a higher price point in terms of per square foot. So I thought that Lentor Hill condo will be priced lower in comparison with Lentor Modern, but in fact they were launched at the same price, if not more expensive. So those people who bought in earlier at Lentor Modern, right, then they really do enjoy the good benefit lah, the first mover advantage. But that doesn't mean that that whole area don't have upside, because we have to know that that area it's nothing right now lah. It's really nothing lah. So Lentor area, if you look at the MRT as a 500-meter radius right there, the further southeastern part, they have I think 4 or 5 condo that is nearer to the Yio Chu Kang side, like Far Horizon, the Carols, Season Park, Castle Green, Novo. These are all the old projects. So the attention is not really over there, but the attention is going to be how the whole Lentor is going to shape and turn out to be. So Lentor Modern is the first one, then Lentor Hill is the second one, Hillock Green is the third one, then 4, 5, 6, 7 total, I think 7 or 8 plots coming up over there. Then that area, because the government has released all the private land like quite back to back, that means the land is released in a very fast paced manner. So I think those people who are really buying in here to stay for the longer term, I'm not so worried. But those people who are buying in purely for investment, right, then I would really suggest to pay attention in terms of how the whole thing is going to pan out. Because if let's say your project is not the popular one, there will be a lot of tenant hop around. Tenant hop is a phenomenon whereby every few years, whenever the new project is ready and can collect keys, right, there will be a bunch of tenants that will chase the newer one to stay. So, like for example, Lentor Modern is the newest one over there, right? Then, for example, year 2026, Lentor Modern collect keys ready. The first batch of people stay there. First batch of tenants stay there. Then, subsequently, Lentor Hill completed 6 months later, right? Then there will be a bunch of tenants who say that, hey, I want the newer one. Then they switch it, hop to the newer place. They change to a newer place. Then another 1 year, 2 year down the road, the third project, Hillock Green, Lentoria, all these came out, right? Then the tenants will also subsequently move to the newer projects. So I'm concerned in this manner, whereby there will be a lot of tenants hopping around, then chasing the best unit, chasing the best price. Then as a landlord, it's going to be tricky lah. Which landlord project would you recommend today? Today. Now. Hillock Green, check out the check out the launch price. If let's say your ballot queue number is good, I think there is still good per entry price that you can go into. If not, have to wait for the next one is I think Lentoria, right? What launch per square feet is good? I hope still can find 1,008 plus 1,009 or low 1,009 lah. I hope. If let's say the launch price is high, then maybe I would say skip lah. Don't look at this area. I would say that this area, the resale is gonna be a bit challenging, a bit challenging because of the high supply issue. That's my personal opinion lah. But of course, we really need to study whether or not really is there such high demand that will be coming into this vicinity. 2,000 I think is depend on the unit type. 2,000 is still okay. 2001, 2002 definitely no go, right? Because if you see the whole market right now, in terms of affordability one, Lentor Hill is still one of the some of the buyers, right, still go into Lentor Hill and buy because of the attractive price point. So, but then this is my personal bias lah, so you don't quote me ah. This is my own personal bias lah, that I don't really like in this area lah, so I don't really also recommend my clients going into this area. I mean, this is just me lah. Probably also because I don't study in depth in this area enough, but whenever I look at the stats, I look at the numbers, I look at the layout entry price for this area, I think there are better options out there lah, put it this way. Yeah. Yep. So hopefully this is a good Q&A for you, right? So same thing, feel free to um, PM me if there's anything I can help, right? You're welcome, you're welcome. Okay, I'll be ending my live. Cheers and good night. Thank you very much.